Dr. Hank, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks very much, Gal. I just love what you're doing for men around the world, Jewish men around the world, and uplifting them and giving them, the type of information to help them become their greatest possibilities. You're awesome, man. Thanks for
Th-
having me.
Thank you. This project is a passion project for me
Awesome.
because I want to be able to grow. I
Yeah,
want to be able to talk with, people like yourself and learn something new. And if I could pass on a nugget to one other person that's going to improve their life,
yeah.
then I'm game.
There you go. Fantastic.
So I was reading about you. Obviously, you've written tons of books and you've done incredible work. But one thing that stood out to me was you had a crazy accident some years ago.
Yeah,
And the VA basically said, that's it, permanent disability. And you were like, hell no. Tell us about what happened and the
yeah.
mindset that you had to get to where you are today.
Yeah, you bet. So I think a little background of me to understand the doctor on Dr. Hank, everybody, it's kind of my stage name, if you will, but my PhD is in mental science. So I'm actually a mental scientist and and a behavioral psychologist. And with lots of business experience. So I've helped Fortune 100 companies around the world. I've helped entrepreneurs and individuals, and from typically teenagers up to 80 years old, whatever, and with all kinds of things, helping them increase their business, helping them to increase their health, overcome cancer. Just really miracles happen. And it's really not so much about me, it's about what I teach people on how thoughts become things. And again, I'm giving this background so that everybody can understand on how powerful our thoughts are. And I've actually been teaching this, for over 30 years. And in the last 5 years, though, all of science, quantum physicists, molecular biologists, neuroscientists, that they've all agreed that there's 3 steps to create anything in our life. And those 3 steps are, it all starts, according to scientists, it all starts with our thought, our all powerful thought. And a lot of people question that because they say, hey, I thought I want more money or whatever it is, and it didn't come to me. And again, I help people to understand you're really not thinking and feeling about what you want. And most people, we have about 60,000 thoughts a day. 80,000 of those thoughts are negative or unwanted thoughts.
Or for the guys here, just about sex, right?
Since this is a men thing, that actually males think way more about sex than females. But the good news, guys, is females do think about sex. And believe it or not, they do like it. And I know half of you are shocked by that, but it's true.
You're like, but does mine? I want mine to think about that more.
That's so great. So, anyways, the science is so they say thought. Step one is our thought, and then our thoughts create energy. Well, that energy is our feeling, so it has a lot to do with how we feel. So, if I say, "Oh, I want more money," but I'm really thinking, and feeling I don't have enough money, you actually are praying to God, if you will, universe, all that is, your higher power, that you're praying, give me more, not enough money. And this is really the answer to everything when people really understand what I just shared with you there. And then step 3, according to the scientist, is that energy turns into matter, matter, or our experience. And this is why thoughts become things. Now, direct answer to your question about, yes, 7 years ago, I was driving down the road highway and an 18-wheeler was towing an 18-wheeler and it was in the left-hand lane. And I go in the right-hand lane passing it and it loses control. And this multiple 18-wheelers take my car and total my car and total my body. And the next thing I know, I wake up and I'm paralyzed from my waist down. And I know this, that, see, most of us are what I call PPs, people pleasers. And we listen to the God of other people's opinion. Okay. And so the doctors were telling me, hey, you're permanently paralyzed. We can't do an operation. It's too risky, create more problems for you. And so you are permanently homebound and permanently disabled for the rest of your life. And when I heard that, instead of fighting with them because they believe that because of what they've seen in the past or whatever, that I know we can create anything we want in the future. And so when they were, actually, it was a blessing that when they were telling me I couldn't walk again, I'd be saying to myself, I'm going to be walking. And before you know it. And so the power of our breath also, and so deep breathing, and when you breathe and deep breathe, it's typically 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out, you really get connected to your higher power. And so I would deep breathe, and this was moment after moment, minute after minute, day after day, week after week. And I just imagined myself walking, me feeling good, me feeling my legs. And one day I felt a little energy, a little movement in my right toe, Egal, and I went, yes. And so another principle is whatever you focus your attention on will grow. And so I started to just focus my attention on that, deep breathing, visualizing me walking, and at breath after breath, again, day after day, that energy went up my right leg, across my waist, down my left leg, and I'm now what most people call a walking miracle.
So for those of you who can't see this or you're listening to this, Dr. Hank obviously stood up and walked around for me. So just to go back real quick, they basically said you were paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like not just disabled, like you paralyzed.
Paralyzed from my waist down. Couldn't move my toes, my legs, nothing. And they said it would be impossible to ever walk again. And so even though they said I was a walking miracle exception, that I share with all of us today, that all of us are walking miracles. And that we have the power and the ability to be able to be, do, and have any and everything that we desire. And so it is such good news. And again, it's power of our thought, but we have had habitual thinking. And so I help people. In fact, I'd love to give your audience, it's called the Joy Shop, and it'll actually improve the way that you think every morning. It's just about 15 minutes. Be happy to give anybody, and you can contact me, email drhank@drhank.biz. So Dr. Hank.
And we'll put that in the show notes for everybody.
Yeah, great. And, or call me, 214-753-7204. And again, in the show notes. But that's how I am. That I want, if you are listening to this and this connects with you, that this Joy Shop has changed literally thousands of people around the world to help them to have more of the things that they desire.
Love that. Now, I want to go back to a lot of people think, are these thoughts, is it just you sitting there, and it kind of sounds like prayer, yet it kind of sounds like being a mental ninja and just kind of giving the energy to that part of your body. I'm going to take it one more step further when we talk about, like, let's say money and business. Is it visualization? Can you kind of describe how this works so that those who are listening, obviously they can get the joy, I think the gift that you're going to give them, but is it like me sitting here and thinking it? Is it me saying it out loud? How does it work?
Right, exactly. So I'm going to use some quotes from the Bible, and so for example, ask and you shall receive. Well, what is this asking? It's really the thinking. Prayer, you mentioned the word prayer. This is really what prayer is. Prayer isn't when my hands are full, I'm on my knees or whatever, or I'm in a synagogue or what. That isn't prayer. What prayer is every moment of every day, our thought. And we're being responded. We are literally, our prayers are being received and answered instantly. Again, most of our prayers, most of our thoughts are about things we don't want. So, and you ask a great question, Egal, and I love it because this is simple. See, like when you said, it's a mental, guru or whatever, that you don't need any of that. that basically we have this guidance system. And we have a guidance system to know exactly where our higher power is, God is, whatever universe, whatever word, whatever, however you've been, brought up or believe now, that we are guided every moment of every day through our feelings. So this is why, and most of us have been told, especially us guys, right? Don't be using feelings, shame on that we're going to be tough and rough. Well, it's actually, so to define that is when you're feeling good, it's God's way of communicating, again, or whatever word you want to use, that it's a principle you want to use, that it's God's way to tell you you're thinking about this as I am. And that's why all of us have had that intuition where we just feel it's kind of like a bad deal, whatever, whether it's a relationship, sex, or, business or whatever it is, we kind of think, it's a good deal. But our little analytical mind, and so I call this the drunken monkey, okay? And it's this little chattering thing say, oh, no, you got to do it. It's the biggest hot deal. But if you'll just start paying more attention to the way that you feel, because when you feel good, it means you're on your lighted path. It will take you to what you desire. Well, however, when you feel bad, Egal, that is when we actually know that we're not on our path, that we need to walk away from this deal or this person or this situation or whatever it is, or this thought. Because we can run rampant and start momentum about things like, oh my gosh, I hope the pandemic, I hope I don't get this and I get sick. That's your prayer. You will get sick. Even though you're saying, I hope I don't get sick,
you're bringing
it's the sickness that I am communicating now with my higher power of sickness. So my higher power just reads the sickness. Oh, hey, I'm reading your feelings. And so what are you really saying? And this is why you can't lie to God, if you will. And so I can help you to really have these easy, good feeling thoughts. In fact, one of my 16 books is Good Feeling Thoughts, where every day, if you just read these 7 good feeling thoughts, or every day of the year, other than leap year, I didn't include that day. You'd have to do a second twice in 1 year. I can't tell you how many people around the world I have uplifted and helped just by them reading those 7 good feeling thoughts. Because think about what we're exposed to. If you turn on the TV, they have spent billions of dollars to find some bad stuff that gets you going, okay? And it's all about what you don't want. Yeah. And so turn off the TV. You don't need to know about any of that stuff. Maybe even turn off social media. I'm not even on Facebook now, and what a relief. And I supposedly had all these friends, 5,000 personal friends, 8,500 business, all this stuff. And when I got off, one person emailed me and said, I haven't heard from you.
Where are your friends at, right?
Yeah, most of the people, when you think about it, most people you haven't even had a 2-minute discussion with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because this is an inside job too. And so it has nothing to do, we have been taught manipulate the outside world, and good luck. Because the outside world is always changing and you will never really win, if you will, in that. This is an inside job. You manage yourself. As long as you're feeling good, you'll get everything that you desire. Easy peasy.
2 things on this.
Yeah.
One, you talked about social media, and I feel like in order for it to be an inside job, you've got to be alone with yourself.
Yeah.
Because we're consistently numbing what we want to feel or pray or think with social media, doing work, and rarely do we take a moment to just sit, breathe. Right. We've had Jesse Coomer on the show, talked about breath, and just what do I want? What do I pray for? And in Judaism, I was talking with my assistant today that there's even a prayer after you go to the bathroom. So it's like step out of the bathroom and like take a minute and be grateful.
Awesome.
Is that what we're trying to do here? Is like take a moment and think, or is it just okay? Is it training the subconscious to consistently think positive, or is it the conscious to think positive?
Yeah. Great question on that. And so, first of all, this joy shop I mentioned earlier, this will start the momentum for you every day. So you don't have to see, we're so used to our analytical mind. Hey, how am I going to manage this? Whatever. If you will just allow, and in this 15 short minutes, it goes through, which includes breathing. Breathing is all powerful in your creating what you want. It connects you with your higher power, and deep breathing. And again, there's 3 different types of methods of breathing, actually, to get rid of your fear, to raise your vibration, and to align you with your higher power. And so as I teach breath, I've invested thousands of dollars on breathing. And, people say, Dr. Hank, you might be smart, but man, you are stupid. All of us learn how to breathe. I got hit on the butt. We were off and running. But there are techniques and 3 different ways to breathe. Now you go into, though, and you just have opened another beautiful door of the subconscious mind. So one of my books, called Your Royal Path to Riches, is all about the subconscious mind. I have a way to tap into the subconscious mind. And basically, what has happened is that, or the dynamics of this, is our conscious mind runs the show. It directs it, okay? But our conscious mind should only be used to identify what we want and why we want it. However, we've been taught and believe that we have to do the how. I got to go figure out how to do it. Well, that's God's job, the how. And when you let the how alone and just think about, oh, I want a long, happy, healthy, and wealthy life, and I would write that one down, it is magical. It will give you, as you just start breathing deeply and say, I want a long, happy, healthy, and wealthy life. And so to just those easy words. Now, the conscious mind has been, so when we were little children, we were told, don't talk to strangers, Well, we took that and that soaked right into our subconscious mind because we were being told by, our parents, somebody we just idolized at 3 or 5 or whatever years old. And so that went into and got buried into our subconscious mind. And this is why, by the way, the number 1 fear in America, for example, is public speaking over death. Why? Because, and they don't even understand why, but the reason why is because they're all strangers.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And so I literally have what I call magical senses to allow to penetrate from your conscious mind, to penetrate into your subconscious mind, the things that you desire. And so there's ways to have more money, but one of the keys there is you can't use money, the word money. Because money you have buried within you in the subconscious mind. So many things. Money is the root of all evil, the filthy rich,
it's dirty, wash your hands.
Pardon me?
I remember when I was a kid, my mom would say, you touched money, go wash your hands, it's dirty.
Oh, yeah, like hell. I mean, I don't want to be near that, and, filthy rich and, all of this. So that's why I use other words, if you will, to be able to penetrate in this. This is why, like, people say, oh, affirmations are really good. Well, if you say, I am rich from the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and let me just preface this first. You have to have agreement between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind in order to create it. It's actually a biblical truth on this. And they're talking, when 2 of you are together, it shall be manifested on earth. Well, the 2 of you isn't me and you. It's me, my conscious mind, and my subconscious mind. When I have agreement, conscious mind and subconscious mind, it is manifested. So back to the example, I am rich, the conscious mind says, and the subconscious mind goes, Bullshit. Boom.
You liar.
So you gal, we're not getting any of that richness.
So let me ask you this question. You talked about like the thought process and leaving the how to God. Couldn't some people construe that as, well, you're not taking action? I mean, where does action, what does action take place in the thought? I can think, I can sit on my couch and think I want to be rich, I want to be rich, I want to be rich.
Yeah.
But if I don't get my ass up and take action,
yeah, that's your little analytical mind, justifying, hey, I got to be doing stuff. So one of the things that I share with, first of all, again, a little background, that 99.9% of everything we have comes from our thought. Remember, I never said one thing, nor did the scientists say it's your thought creates energy that creates matter. Okay, so there was none of this work hard. However, our subconscious mind, we have been brought up, you have to work hard. And so we looked at other people and said, oh, look, if they worked hard and they got whatever. But how happy of a journey did they have? Because a happy ending, if you will, guys, you have to have a happy journey. Okay. And the key is to enjoy yourself right now. So for that, basically what we have been taught that we have to do. And what we end up with is do. And this is why I've helped hundreds of midlife crisis people, because they've been doing all this do. And they've been going upstream, working hard, swimming upstream, and they finally get exhausted and they go, man, this is not it. Well, what we don't realize is that none of our desires are upstream. They're all downstream. And if you will just allow the different answers. So when I asked, so I'm on the couch in your example, I'm on the couch, and it said, I'm not going to say I'm rich because I know what that gets me. It doesn't give me what I want. So, but I think about, wow, I love that my life is getting better. I love that I'm growing my business. I love that my health is getting better. Just these easy thoughts. Well, if in 1 minute, so you need about a minute to think these thoughts. That's the other thing. People say, hey, I asked for money, I want money. Well, you have to actually get the energy going. And we have this buffer. It's actually good, because if I say, hey, I'm mad at you, I hope you die, and then you're dead right away. And pretty soon all the people around you are dead. Okay, so you need this minute buffer. And so to think about, my life is getting better now. I love having a long, happy, healthy, wealthy life. So for a minute, that what will happen is you will start attracting thoughts. And just the next thought about, I should call Joe, these hunches, this intuition. But see, you have to be pointed in the direction of what you want. Most people are thinking about, oh man, I can't believe traffic was bad. And however you're feeling, God's going to give you more feelings like it. Because that's why appreciation is so important. Because when you appreciate, I appreciate the easy money, easy life. That's my brand new program I have. It's a book too, but a great program. Easy money, easy life. When I go, easy money, easy life, I just love having that money coming. Now I'm pointing in the direction of more money. But most people are, that check, I got ripped off, it wasn't enough, or where is the check, or, whatever. And so they're thinking about what they don't want, and then God brings more feelings of that lack and limitation. So what do we want? We want abundance. We want to feel better.
Now let's use a prime example of how to do this. And I'm going to use myself, and if you can help me through this exercise. Last 2 nights, my 2-year-old daughter has had a fever, 103, 104, and we're barely sleeping, right? Yeah. So this morning I woke up like a zombie, and I walked, and as you're speaking, I'm like thinking about like what I'm doing, right? I woke up and I told my wife, gosh, I'm so tired. Yeah. And I walked downstairs and I'm like, man, babe, I'm so tired. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get through the day. And then I walked into work and I told my assistant, she said, how are you doing? I said, man, I'm so tired, right? So I'm consistently bringing tired into my energy.
You are.
But yet I can't walk downstairs and bullshit my subconscious and say, fuck, I've got so much energy.
Yeah. Good. So See, and again, that's your analytical mind going and giving an answer.
That's why I'm talking to you today.
Yeah. All right. Oh, no,
So
I got
I
it.
will say this, Dr. Hank, every guest I've had on the Tribesmen podcast,
Yeah,
my belief is that they've been put into my life at the perfect moment.
they have. Absolutely. I'm your guardian angel. And for your audience that are being inspired, uplifted by that, and the way that plays out is God knows exactly where you are. God knows exactly where you're going. And then God knows the easiest path for you to get there. And I am on that path. So literally, it's a God thing on us connecting. And, I got some email and it's all like, I could have never figured that out. And that's why I don't do the doing. Okay, now let's go back to your example. When you're in the midst of something, just forget it. It's kind of like, let's say you're a parachutist and you're in the airplane and you're flying and say, okay, jump, and you jump. And when you jump, you remember, oh, darn, I forgot one thing. By parachute. Okay. You already got momentum going, and what the heck, just let it go. This too shall pass. And that's a very comforting thought, to be able to, this too shall pass. But what the key here is, you pre-pave, and again, this is why this joy shop is so important, that you pre-pave the way you want it. So where you started in your story is, hey, before I went to bed, right before you go to bed, that you said love and well-being to your daughter, okay? That you said, ask for love and well-being for you. And you asked for, to wake up, like, your conscious mind might be too heavy on, oh, I'm gonna be up all night. So don't even go there. If it's a resistant thought that you can't, she's gonna be keeping me up, don't go there. But when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to feel refreshed and rested. It doesn't matter on, anything on other than for me to declare how I want to feel in the morning. And I just love that. Now, the first morning, how well will that go? Like if you're in the midst of your daughter being sick and everything, but just be patient with it. That again, you're turning, it's kind of like a ship. We have to turn that ship and that focus to more of what you want, to where you understand you're in control. Now, the other thing in the part of your story that is, that we should all be aware of is, our word is very powerful. What our word is articulated thought and goes into word. So that's why our word's so powerful. So if anything, don't say anything to your assistant. And try to, and when you hear yourself say, oh, I'm so tired, say, hey, could I have a better feeling thought? So stop yourself, breathe deep, and ask for a better feeling thought, like, wow, am I glad that I woke up this morning? That really, just thank you so much. I'm so glad that, my circulation is working, my eyes working, my ears. I have so much to appreciate. I love that I have my wife, my daughter, and this is rocking. I got my business. I get to talk to Dr. Hank this morning, and pretty soon you will be way on the other side, on the wanted side of the equation. So none of this stuff about, oh, real thing. On that, you start out easy with thoughts, and you just start going, and the momentum will take you. God will take you to every place you want to be, which the main thing is to feel good. And when you feel good, the heavens part, and you'll get everything you've asked for.
So I love that. And I'm going to go into my analytical brain real quick. And
all right.
I've connected two things that I've never connected before from this conversation.
Yeah.
In my leadership training and my business consulting, I talk about emotional contagion, where how I walk into a room, if I walk in grumpy, then my team becomes grumpy, and then my customers become grumpy. And this is a psychological study that's been done, and it's truthful.
Absolutely.
Now I'm connecting that I can do that to myself. So if I'm emotionally contagious to myself. So if I'm grumpy in my conscious, my subconscious is just grumpy, and I'm revolving that grumpiness the whole time. But if I disconnect that, and I bring in another thought, prayer, ask, then that emotional contagion is something different.
Exactly. And so what you want to be careful of is don't say, oh, I want to disconnect from this. You're giving it power. Whatever you focus, and really everybody should write this down, whatever you focus on grows, it expands. So I'm not going to focus on, doesn't matter if you're saying don't or whatever, that or disconnect or whatever, that instead of that, it's, hey, could I please have a better feeling thought? And you will be given a better feeling thought. I just went through a little rampage there of, well, I had this one better feeling thought, and this next, and pretty soon I was all fired up.
I will say there's something contagious about who you are as a person. I've done thousands of podcasts, and your joy and happiness is, I mean, just incredible. and it's contagious in itself. So I know why people want to work with you, listen to, your programs, because you just give off this amazing gratitude, energy, joy that I want to have all the time, or I will have all.
And
the
we
time.
can that I am right now. See, because it's only about this present moment.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm feeling good right now. It's all I need.
Yeah.
And I want to even feel better. Yeah. And so you just go through that, and you'll see it's just one step. You take a mile. How did we start? Just one step. And so, and it'll be less than a mile, and it can be just the next step, because it's in this present moment for us to feel good. I thank you very much for your kind words, and it's very meaningful and touches me that I wrote a book. My publisher was talking to me, I don't know, a few years ago, and said, you've really had a fascinating life, and just the way that you are, you've risen above all this stuff. Most people are going up and down based on what's happening in the world out there. I'm going up, up, up based on what's happening within me here. And they said, we'd love to write a book. So I said, okay, on me. And we didn't have a title for it. And we were about halfway through the book. And the publisher came to me and said, we got the perfect name for your book. And I said, really? Cool. What is it? And they said, it's The Happiest Man in the World.
Awesome.
And so we can all be the happiest man in the world. So that is not a throne for me. It's for all of us to be able to enjoy. And we were really meant to be that way. We were meant to be skipping along our golden path, just saying, hey, here's what I want. A great way I like thinking about it, and might stick in our minds here, is and think about, just going down in a downstream in a boat, and you're just, enjoying yourself and laying back, and you have a girl with you or whatever, and then all of your desires is low-hanging fruit, okay? And you're just picking this low-hanging fruit. And so the song that kind of goes behind that is, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And if you just would hum that all day instead of thinking all these other dumb thoughts, silly thoughts that your drunken monkey has, you'd have just an amazing life.
I love that.
Even more amazing than it currently is.
and you've got a great voice to sing, so that's even better. So I want to ask you one last question from this incredible interview. I feel like, from what you're saying, people make life much harder just because of what they're thinking and not what's going on. Absolutely.
We have all put chains around our heart. We put locks.
Wait. Yeah. I want you to say that again, because that was brilliant.
Yeah. We all have put chains around our heart.
Dive into that.
We've put locks on those chains. We've been taught to be guarded, to watch out. There's nothing to be guarded about. That unless you think so. We have built our own cell, our own prison cell. And we get the choice. I had a client the other day, I do weekly coaching, and I had a client who's really, they all become friends, dear loved ones, that, and they said, I now get it. I have a choice. I don't have to think about that unwanted, that bad feeling thought anymore. I have a choice, and I can choose a better thought, and God will give me a thought, a better feeling thought. And it's like, this is so remarkable that we are in control when we don't try to control the outside world. And instead, we just easily manage our inside world. And it's all easy. You don't need a PhD. You don't need, I've had children understand this, that, and they've gone off to, incredible things. We've helped people overcome cancer without one chemotherapy. Okay. And the other thing that I want to introduce just at the end here is God has given us 7 loving energies, because everything really is energy. That's why, like, when you walk in a room and you're feeling good, everybody brightens up. Okay. That the same is that God has given. So man, all those that have walked before us have asked for 7 common things to improve their life. And they come in the form of what is called archangels. And so there are 7 archangels that we can call upon to be able to bless us in things like well-being, and to rid ourselves. Archangel Michael rids ourselves of fear, because fear is really the only thing. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's actually fear. It's the stuff we fear. And so those are the chains, that fear there. And so there are not only me and my teaching, but there are these incredible powers that I channel with people to be able to literally live the freedom that we want. Our souls are here for 3 purposes, 3 reasons ago. That number 1 is growth. And we're going to get growth because we have this contrast in this world, these things we don't want, that helps birth what we do want. So it takes thought and energy to beyond where it's ever been. So each one of you are just critical in the whole universe, if you will, in the whole world and all that is. Each one of you play a critical role. So number 1 is growth. But the second reason why we're here is for more freedom. And this is what we're talking about right now, is to take those chains off of our heart, take those chains off of our mind, and to be able to really free ourselves. So the second one is freedom. We are here for more freedom. And the things that just have happened the last couple of years have actually helped us to express and want, desire more freedom. But the prize of it all is joy. And that's what we're here for. So I ask all of you to just ask for joy. I want more joy in my life. I want more freedom. You don't have to figure it out with that little analytical mind, because the only devil there is that drunken monkey.
And we can have joy even through the tough times. I mean, what comes to mind is I went to go visit my niece in the hospital. I walked out, and there was a father holding his daughter's shaved head going to the cancer unit.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough in those moments. Like, God forbid.
Yeah.
But I've seen people still have joy in those moments, saying, this is what was meant. This is what, I can't even imagine that. Like, it makes me emotional just thinking about that.
Yeah. But all is well. And that know that really everything is a blessing. And so it's tough for us to use our analytical mind and see that situation you described as being a blessing. But I guarantee you that it is a blessing. And that once we transition back into the non-physical, if you will, that and we pass on, that everything comes to us and we actually can see it clearly, that everything we've been through is a blessing. So again, they're really not tough times, but if you think about tough times, you're going to be calling forth more tough times. So think of it as instead a blessing, and then you and all of us will be more blessed.
Amazing. And I'd like to end off this show, because it's been outstanding. Made a big shift in me, Dr. Hank. I appreciate it greatly. And every guest I have on, I always send strength and courage. That's what we talk about here in Tribesmen, to have strength and courage. May you have the strength and the courage to keep doing what you're doing. For those listening, may you have the strength and courage to think positive thoughts and live an incredibly joyous life. And join us in the Facebook group. I know you said to get off Facebook, but join up on the Facebook group, Tribesmen, Jewish Men Leading, and stay tuned for the next episode. Dr. Hank, this has been
Love you all. Thank you so much.